Okay, hello everyone. I forgot that we have even more crap to read. Oh, so much reading, my poor throat, my poor voice. Not going to be able to talk after this. So, when you log into The World, which has a sweet new little opening screen here, little title screen, there's their own official The World forums, and then there's the official site. The forums will be updated periodically, as forums are wont to do. The site should not change too much. So we'll go through this. This is like an overview of The World. If it had an instruction manual, this would be it. Jobs are already going to have been covered in whatever video, one of them, where I logged into The World and saw all this and was like, oh yeah, more reading. So, The World is a massively multiplayer online role-playing game enjoyed by many players worldwide. Gain fame as a top-class adventurer. Become Emperor of the Colosseo. Take part in quests and explore the world, or just relax and take in the gorgeous scenery. There's more than one way to enjoy The World and more than one path to take. You too can become a resident of The World and live the life that you desire. Some cool pictures. So, crest and steam technology, the Chaos Gate. This is a crest that is key to creating a barrier that stops monsters from invading the town. Each town has at least one Chaos Gate, which you must use to warp to a field or a dungeon. Steam alchemy. This is an alchemy device created by combining steam and crest technology. Just toss any item in, from old equipment to spare items, and the device will transform it into something different. Although the device was first intended to transform scrap iron into gold, the types of items that can be transformed are now restricted by law, as economists worried it would wreak havoc on the economy. Steam bike? Oh, it doesn't look like a grunty. A steam-powered bike invented by humans. It is an extremely expensive item. Riding around on one of these is guaranteed to earn you jealous stares from people in town. Gondola. The gondola has historically been used to navigate the canals in Mak Anu. Transportation provided by gondolas used to be essential to everyday life, but with the steady advance in technology, they have mostly lost their original purpose, becoming more of a tourist attraction for Mak Anu. History of The World. So we have Gog, the genesis of grief. Long, long ago, before the earth and the heavens existed, two brothers lived in the world. Able to read each other's hearts without so much as a glance, the two were fully satisfied. The world was two. The two were the world. One day, the elder deity accidentally broke the younger deity's treasured sword. Furious, the younger deity retaliated by slashing the elder deity's treasured spear with the broken sword. The spear was split in half, and the elder deity erupted in anger, and so, glaring at each other, one holding his broken sword and the other his broken spear, they fought. The war waged for 7 days and 7 nights. On the 8th day, the younger deity realized their foolishness and went to the elder deity to request a truce. But the elder deity, still blind with anger, saw this as an opening and thrust his spear. The spear pierced the chest of the younger deity and took his life. The younger deity's final breath became the heavens, and his fallen body became earth. The fountain of blood erupted high and became the sun. The broken sword shattered and formed the moons and stars in the heavens. Feeling great shame, the elder deity wept. His tears became rain and fell to earth, forming oceans in its deep contours. From eternal tranquility, the world was set into motion. New life, the elder deity mourned the loss of the younger deity for many years, but eventually he grew accustomed to his sad, lonely new life. I like the art. One day, unable to bear his loneliness any longer, the elder deity removed one of his eyes. Ooh, that's kind of creepy. And he created a goddess. The new goddess looked at the elder deity and exclaimed, "Thou art handsome." And with her voice, the world was filled with sound. The elder deity and the new goddess gave names to each other. The elder deity received the name of Sol, the god of creation, and the goddess, Mulin, the goddess of harvest. Then, the elder deity created a land of the dead in the darkest part of the world. He sealed the spirit of the younger deity and gave him the name Cernunnos, the Lord of the Dead. This was how all things were named and given a purpose. Sol gave birth to more gods and goddesses. Mulin gave the new gods names, and Sol gave them purpose. One ruled the sun, another ruled the oceans. One ruled the weaving thread, and another the stoves. This was how the sun traveled the sky, and the oceans beat against the shores. The loom spit out threads, and the stoves held the fire within. Sol then gave birth to trees, plants, beasts, birds, fishes, and insects. They all spread throughout the world, each finding a place to live. The world was filled with life, including like an upside-down duck, it appears. Last to be created were the elves. Sol created them in his image, and it was them he loved best. Sol asked all the gods and all the creatures to grant the elves their blessings. Each god, goddess, and creature happily gave its blessings to the elves. As a result, the elves were faster, stronger, smarter, and more beautiful than any other creature, and moreover, they could speak the languages of all creatures. However, Cernunnos, the Lord of the Dead, withheld his blessing from the elves. Unaware of darkness, the elves' hearts were ever wrapped in light, but because of it, they had an incredible innocence about them. I feel like something bad's gonna happen here. Oh wow, there's a lot. The fools. The gods entrusted the earth to the elves and created their own realm in the heavens, known as Erseltri? Sure, the City of Dawn. It's pretty cool. And so the elves ruled the earth and the gods ruled the heavens. The gods built a path connecting earth and heaven and called it the Heavenly Path. The Heavenly Path was used to deliver the light of the heavens and the gods down to earth. Guarded by the light of the sun and the light of the gods, life on earth flourished, and it seemed that peace would last forever. But as time passed, the elves began to believe that their powers equaled those of the gods. They built the aerial fortress, Fort Oath, in the sky to enter the realm of the gods, insisting that they too be treated as deities. Sol was furious, and he took from the elves all that was good in them. The elves became slower, weaker, and uglier than any other creature. Mulin scorned these foolish creatures and named them humans. Oh, so humans are really just ugly elves? I don't know how I feel about that. The despised. Oh gosh, this is getting worse. There were some who protested the treatment of the elves at the hand of the gods. These were the elves who had not wished to challenge the gods to begin with. They stormed the heavenly path and threw themselves before the gods, crying, "Why must you punish us, when it was not we who drew our swords against you?" The gods answered, "That is true, but that is not the only sin." The elves asked again, "What do you mean by that, O gods?" And the gods answered back, "Very well then. When your brethren raised their swords against us, where were you? And what were you doing?" To that the elves replied, "We were at the altars, praying to you, our gods. We prayed that the fools who disobeyed you would receive your divine punishment." The gods retorted, "Were you not merely praying that your own lives be spared?" The elves' faces turned red, and they could not reply. Suddenly, the gods showed their anger. "You are more foolish than the fools who do not know their place. Lower even than the humans, from this day on you shall wear a mark showing your supposed innocence and piety." And just as this thundering judgment was made, each of the elves that gathered at the heavenly path began to transform. They grew tails, and their beautiful faces turned into those of beasts. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. When they saw how they had changed, they screamed in shame and disappeared to dark corners of the world. They became grunties. Oh, this is amazing. Having lost their wisdom, humans brought war and chaos to the world. They had been reduced to creatures concerned only with domination, and so they commenced to make war on all other races. Sol gazed down in sadness on the ruined earth and decided to use the goodness that he had taken from the elves to create a race of grunties. Oh, the elves didn't become grunties, at least not directly. So he dispatched the grunties to return peace to the world. Huh. But the gods were afraid that the grunties would suffer the same flaw as the elves and voiced objections to Sol's action. And so, Sol cast a curse upon the grunties and proclaimed, "Listen carefully to me. I have cast a spell on you. It is a curse, and a magic word is its key. If someone, even just one person on this earth, says this word, a terrible calamity will befall every one of you." The grunties beseeched him, "Great Lord, then how may we ensure this calamity does not come to pass?" Sol nodded his head and answered, "You must not oppress others. You must not be bitter. You must not be envious. Have a good and pure heart and live your days peacefully." The secret word was told to all gods and all creatures except for humans, because nobody trusts the humans, those ugly elves. The gods were satisfied, and the grunties were sent down to earth. Without shedding a drop of blood, the grunties stopped the violence of the humans. Overjoyed, the gods created magical powers and bestowed them upon the grunties. But even with such great power, the grunties did not fall prey to the sin of pride. Wow, grunties truly are the best race of them all. Banquet of Conspiracy. That whole magic word thing, by the way, reminds me of the Futurama episode where Bender has a self-destruct like bomb inside of him, and he'll blow up if he says whatever the word is. So they programmed it to one of his least likely words, like one of Bender's least commonly said words, and he has to, he doesn't have to, but he is trying to guess it. It's pretty great. I love Futurama. Alright, the grunties were loved by all creatures, with the exception of the bitterly jealous, ugly elves, aka the humans. This was because all of the things that made grunties so wonderful had once belonged to the human elves. Oh, humans, why do you have to be so bad? Humans began to look for grunties' weaknesses and learned of the curse that Sol had cast on them. Overjoyed, the humans next set out to learn the secret word, but even the normally talkative monkey would not betray it. So the humans held a banquet and invited all the gods and other creatures in order to fog their minds with drink. Whoa, why would people even attend this? One after another, the guests became intoxicated until finally only the snake, the strongest drinker, remained. Why would a snake be the strongest drinker? The snake would still not divulge the secret word, so the humans brought out their strongest drink and gave it to the snake. As expected, the snake finally became drunk and told the secret word to the humans. The humans rejoiced and intoned the word. Immediately, the grunties lost their intelligence and found themselves unable to stand upright. The humans called them Buchipongo and made them into their beasts of burden. Then they proceeded to rekindle their war against all the other races. What a weird story. This is such a weird story. This is the history of the world. Like, this is the lore, the background for what the game is that everybody's playing. This is so weird. For telling the secret word, the snake was punished by having to forever crawl about the earth on its stomach. It's a creation myth, and it's got all this other weird stuff mixed in. This is so bizarre. Alright, the path of evil, because we all know the humans weren't already evil and messed up enough. Good grief. The gods fell into despair over the humans' deed. Why didn't you just undo the grunty thing? Like, it was there to stop the grunties from exerting their power. They clearly didn't do that, so why would you still let them be cursed? I don't understand. It doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. The gods created a great gateway called Morrigu Barrow and blocked off earthly access to the heavenly path so that none could evermore enter heaven. Along with the sealing of the heavenly path, the light of the gods was also blocked from earth. Without the protection of the gods, the earth gradually became wilder and began to become corrupted by a dark power called the Shadow. In the vile influence of the Shadow, the earth overflowed with monsters and demons. These demons roamed the world and killed everything in their path. Many creatures were lost as a result of their brutality. Humans also came under attack by the monsters. They formed barriers in the major cities and closed themselves off. They fought against the monsters, but lost battle after battle. One by one, the cities were cut off from each other, and the barriers protecting the cities were destroyed one after another. Finally, only 5 cities remained standing. I'm assuming these are like the root towns on the various servers. Goddess Aurora, the savior of mankind, was a young apprentice magician. He confined himself in the temple of Arc-Colon. Arc-Colon? We'll go with that. Arch? Maybe Arch? I'm going to go with Arc-Colon. Oh, pronunciation. Surprisingly hard. Confined himself to the temple and prayed to the gods. In exchange for his life, he was able to call upon the 6 great spirits and 2 goddesses. The 8 gods that were summoned were, by the way, just look at that art. That's cool. I love the sketchy, like pencil sketch and stuff art. Like, it's a really cool style. Some good stuff in here. Ooh, these all look familiar. Or they mostly look familiar. So, the 6 great spirits, we know all of them. Vulcan, Maros, Crake, Yarthkins, Lancior, and Rhynek, aka all of the summons. Also, Anu, the star goddess, and Aurora, the goddess of light. So Makanu must be named after her, the star goddess. The light of the gods shined once more on the blessed earth, and the Shadow was contained. Thanks to the newfound peace, humans once again prospered, but it did not last long. Once the threat of the Shadow was gone, the freaking ugly elves turned on each other and started fighting again. Why would you keep doing that, you idiots? This is all your own fault. After sealing the Shadow, the 8 gods and goddesses remained on Earth, but some were angered by the foolishness of the humans, and others grieved their wretchedness and left, until finally only Aurora remained. Fearing that the light of heaven would again depart the Earth, humans placed 8 curses upon Aurora and chained her inside the Hule Grand's cathedral. Oh, interesting. So the world R2 seems to have lost a lot of the original epitaph of Twilight's story behind it. Like, that's been thrown at us a lot in the forums and stuff. But it looks like they kept a lot of the imagery. So instead of Aurora, it was, or like it's Aurora instead of Aura, just Aura the AI. And the 8 curses would probably be the 8 chains that were wrapped around her, like the 8 phases of the cursed wave. Maybe the cursed wave is supposed to be the Shadow. Interesting. Alright. So the battle against the gods, because the ugly elves just, they don't know when to stop. When the gods learned that a goddess had been imprisoned, their fury knew no bounds, and they vowed to destroy mankind. But the humans had no intention of meekly succumbing to extinction, and they used their magic powers to devise a weapon that they could use to fight against the gods. So began the war between the gods and the humans. The humans were no match for the power of the gods. The aerial city of Fort Oaf fell from the sky, and the highland city of Dun Loirig was crushed underneath it. The cultural city of Carmina Gadelica was destroyed by the god of lightning, and many lives were lost. Oh, I wonder if this is how things transitioned from the World R1 to the World R2. This is why we don't have all the same cities. Carmina Gadelica's gone because it was destroyed by the god of lightning. Interesting. As a last resort, the humans took all of Aurora's power, transformed it into magic power, and fired it at the heavens. Heaven was engulfed in flame, and the gods fled or fell burning to die upon the earth. The humans sacrificed much as well, the relic city, Liafal, from whence the goddess's power was fired. was reduced to ashes, and many excellent magicians died along with it. And so ended the Age of the Gods. But do we know what happened to Netslum? Do we know what happened there? Is it gone? Is it still around? When they say the Relic City, do they mean the Netslum? Do they not know that we replaced it with Netslum after it crashed? Because Morgana was being mean. Alright, gods, rebirth. All the gods in heaven disappeared, but a single god who remained on earth lived. This was the god of law, Fulset, who guarded the gate that blocked the heavenly path. Ooh, this is the Fulset statue that we keep getting treasure from in dungeons. That's the beast statue. It's a statue of Fulset. So kind of cool. Winning the war against the gods. The humans wanted the wisdom and power of the gods for themselves, storming Morrigu Barrow and demanding that Fulset invite them into the realm of the gods. But Fulset refused to grant them entry, because they're mean humans and they're acting bad. At first, the humans pointed their weapons at Fulset and demanded that he open the gate, but Fulset answered thus: "Do whatever you wish. There is no way any of your weapons can harm me." The weapons followed his words and tried to attack Fulset in any way they could, but they were unable to harm even a single hair on his head. Once they learned that force was hopeless, they tried to convince him to open the gates by seducing him with gifts. After seeing the gifts, Fulset said, "Build a mountain of gifts for me if you wish." I'll make a mountain twice that size in an instant. Before Fulset was even finished completing his sentence, a mountain of gifts more lavish than the gifts of the humans sprang up before their eyes. After learning that both force and flattery were to no avail, the humans got on their knees and begged pathetically. If a power greater than the shadow should emerge, we would fall into ruin. But if we could regain the wisdom and power that lies beyond this gate, we would be able to protect ourselves and not fight one another. So please open the gate. Fulset laughed and answered them. Was it not you who took up sword and shield and slew the gods? You should suffer for your sins. Protesting, the humans replied, So are you saying that we should have simply allowed the gods to drive us all to extinction as punishment for all the wars that we kept causing because we're horrible warmongers and we're also ugly? Have we mentioned how ugly we are? We're ugly elves. Fulset shook his head and answered, Recall the first. Let's try that again. Fulset shook his head and answered, Recall first the sins that you committed. Is it not just that sinners receive judgment? To this the humans could make no reply. Fulset continued to speak. But all beings have a right to atone for their sins. Human, child of sin. If you want this gate opened, then bring back the lost gods. The gods will rise again, born from the dogma of believers. If they are true gods, then I will open this gate. Bring back what has been lost, and only then can you be pardoned. And so, the humans argued over the gods' rebirth and once again made war with each other because the humans are all really dumb. Oh my gosh. There's so much more. Oh, there's not so much more. There's a giant picture that's eating up most of it. Okay. Only 3 more. And then we still got to go through the forums. World without gods. That art is so cool. I love the art. Without the gods, the world fell into stagnation. With none to command them, the sun stood in place and the tides ceased to ebb and flow. The looms gave forth no thread and the ovens no warmth. Mankind now had to perform all of these functions themselves. Despite these hardships, humans did not cease their wars with each other. Soon they invented different types of magical tools to improve their lives. 10 years after the Great War with the gods, a researcher visited the ruins of Fort Oaf. Many had avoided the ruins of Fort Oaf, Leofal, and Carmina Gadelica and Dunluirig. No idea how to pronounce any of those. So many had avoided those ruins after the Great War. In fear and hatred, they were haunted by the spirits of the dead gods and goddesses. This belief was further enhanced by the fact that most who set out to explore the ruins never came back. However, this particular researcher did return, and he brought with him a creature with the body of a human and the head and tail of an animal. This creature was a beast with a capital B, so different from, regular beasts. Proper noun, beast. Humans and beasts. At first, humans and beasts were friendly with each other, but I already know where this is going. But while the beasts revered nature and old ways, the humans were too innovative. It was the beasts who first discovered the creatures called chimchims. When the beasts saw the light of the gods in the chimchims, they decided to revere them as a legacy of the gods. But the humans captured the chimchims to research them, and after discovering a way to extract energy from them, used them to invent steam machines. The beasts protested this treatment, but the humans would not listen. As the humans' use of steam technology advanced, they abandoned magic as old and obsolete. The beasts continued to revere magic culture and rejected steam technology. Humans scoffed at the beasts for being stubborn and small-minded, and the beasts came to despise the humans' foolishness. Eventually, the beasts decided they could not leave the gods' rebirth to the fools, and proclaimed that they too would participate in the gods' rebirth. Fulset granted their participation. The humans were outraged. They believed the gods' rebirth was their right. The two sides' antagonism towards each other began to deepen, and finally a war broke out, surprising no one. Humans gathered their armies and steam weapons, but found their weapon production was lagging behind. Desperate, they built the great factory of Breg Epona, but still they were unable to create the necessary weapons. Beasts were mighty in the ways of magic, but small in numbers. They were unable to marshal a large enough army. Humans were weaker, but more numerous. Beasts were stronger, but fewer in number, and the war continued to rage on. Oh, why do the humans have to ruin everything? Ooh, look at that. 3 dogmas. Presumably 3 dragons as well. Eventually, both humans and beasts grew tired of the long years of war. However, neither side was able to strike a decisive blow, and none knew a way to stop the cycle of wars and bring the entire gruesome conflict to an end. In this never-ending cycle, a new faction was born, composed of both humans and beasts. The new faction concentrated on pure pursuit of power and incorporated the crest technology derided by humans and the steam technology loathed by beasts. Both humans and beasts feared that this new faction would enter the war, and each side sent emissaries to the other and called for a ceasefire. At first, both races were hesitant, but they were forced to accept the sheer toll brought on by the war. And so the war between the two races ended, but the conflict continued. Beasts continued to insist on participating in the gods' rebirth, and the new faction proclaimed their participation as well. Humans chanted for steam technology and innovation. Beasts were for crest technology and tradition. And the new faction, they were for the pure pursuit of power. They began a quiet, colder war. No winner was decided in this war, since no gods were born from any of these forces. The three-way war smoldered, and in time, the factions came to be called the following: Arvakov, the Innovators; Ojimos, the Conservators; and Dutates, the Pursuers. Sure, we'll go with that. To this day, the three-way war knows no end, and it quietly drives the world ever closer to its doom. Wow, that's intense. Alright, player characters. We know about the different races. Humans, they're an ancient race said to be the true descendants of the elves. Many humans have a tendency to look down on the beast tribe because of their primitive way of thinking and technology. The animosity between the two races has caused strife in the past. All humans have very average abilities and are capable of doing just about anything. They are highly adaptable and able to handle all kinds of obstacles that face them. Beasts! Beasts are a race of creatures with the body of a human and the head and tail of an animal. They place a high value on the technology and culture from ancient times, and they tend to resist innovations. As a result, steam technology has yet to spread in their cities. Oh, they're adorable. Beasts are separated into 3 tribes that are differentiated by their appearances and abilities. Although beasts possessing amazing abilities and skill in some areas, they're also extremely vulnerable in others. They pose fierce united fronts with their tribe to overcome these vulnerabilities. Oh, and this links back to the story stuff, it looks like. Tribes. So there's roughly 3 tribes. The Ya tribe. Beasts of the Ya tribe have fairly large bodies, although they have bodies as hard as steel that are capable of resisting physical damage. They have a limited understanding of magic and are highly vulnerable to magic attacks. The Lay tribe, they possess bodies similar in proportion to humans and have the quickest reflexes and speed. Also like humans, they have average physical and magical abilities, but they are slightly less resilient. And the Tu tribe. Beasts of the Tu tribe are smaller than the others. They are highly sensitive and possess great magical abilities and wisdom, but their bodies are much more fragile and they pose almost no resistance to physical attacks. Oh, they're all adorable. Oh, geez, and then there's more. All right, well, so we got the gods and goddesses. They created and ruled the world long ago. Most were slain in past wars. Only 2 of them have been confirmed to still exist to this day. So we know Fulset, the god of law. Fulset guards the Morrigu Barrow Wall that blocks the heavenly path. It is said only those who are worthy can open these gates and enter the land of the gods, the city of dawn, Erseltrai. Oh, and Cernunnos, the Lord of the Dead, who's just kind of been hiding. He was defeated by his older brother, Sol, the god of creation, and was sealed in the kingdom of the dead. Refusing to recognize his own death, Cernunnos appealed to his brother 7 times to be brought back to the land of the living, and all 7 times his pleas were denied. Furious, he led his army of the dead against Erseltrai, the city of dawn, in order to force Sol to return his soul back into his body. But when he tried to cross the lake of the dead world of Indiglit Lu, the root of the white giant tree Hladgud came down and blocked his path. Cernunnos was forced to return to the kingdom of the dead. It is said that Cernunnos still plots to return to the land of the living and to rule over it. The monsters in the world are said to be his pawns. Vital Vistas. They are machine dolls created by Steam technology and treated as domestic servants by humans. They have high dexterity and are capable of operating complex devices that even humans have difficulties with. They're also equipped with self-awareness equal to a child and are able to judge matters on their own, just like a child. Recently, some Vital Vistas have come to possess self-awareness very close to humans because children are not actually human, apparently. They have become self-sufficient and have started to disobey commands issued by their masters. Some now live independently in towns and have jobs. More and more humans are now worried that eventually the Vital Vistas will revolt against them. Grunties. Grunties are famous for their triangular hats and their distinctive speech. What? I don't remember any Grunties having hats. They were cursed by Sol, the god of creation, and they returned into Buchipongo and became beasts of burden for humans. However, they assumed their original form once the humans defeated the gods. Oh, okay. That was glossed over earlier. They're often entrusted to managerial positions of important facilities or assigned as secretaries to VIPs due to their peaceful nature and excellent communication abilities. Chim-chims. They're very kickable. They're the only creatures that are able to produce chim-spheres, a raw material needed to utilize steam technology. Most chim-chims are quite timid and tend to flee when they encounter other races, but some are more aggressive in nature and will attack any other race they may encounter. And the elves. The elves are a race that died out long ago. They're said to be the ancestors of all humans and beasts. That's all. They don't exist. Spirits are tiny sprites that inhabit streams and forests. Magic spells harness their powers. Okay. Factions. We do roughly know about the 3 factions. The 3 sometimes fight and sometimes cooperate with one another in this 3-way war. So the Arvakiv, the Innovators, with their steam technology and innovative way of thinking, they are represented by the symbol of a shining sun, centered around the eternal city of Makanu and the dunal city of Bregapona. They are led by a man named Ishmael. Although directly opposed to the Ojimos, they exchange team technology with the Teutates in exchange for help in weapons manufacturing. So Ojimos, the conservatives, composed of beasts with their crest technology and conservative ways, Ojimos is represented by a great gate and a magic circle, centered around the celestial city of Duldona. They're led by a woman from the Du tribe named Bipu Bapu. That's actually really fun to say. Bipu Bapu. They directly oppose the Arvakov, but they exchange crest technology with the Teutates in exchange for manpower. Okay. Oh, did we not? Hang on. Didn't actually mean to back out of that. The Pursuers. So they are a mixed force of humans and beasts with a pure hunger for power. Their symbol is the roaring lion and staff, centered around the warring city, Lumina Cloth. Their leader is a young human male named Al-Azif. They receive steam technology by manufacturing weapons for the Arvakov, and receive crest technology support from the Ojimos by providing military support. Adventurers. Mercenary force formed by the Teutates. Most adventurers join small-scale war bands called guilds and work from within them. In exchange for being allowed to use space in At Home or borrow bikes, adventurers and guilds promise to support Teutates. Also, guilds that contribute greatly to the Teutates are given the right to use one of the 3 castles owned by them. Among the adventurers are some who wish to rise to the top of the Teutates and perform the gods' rebirth themselves. So, that's probably like the overall plot of the world, is you're trying to become notable enough an adventurer to go perform the gods' rebirth ceremony. Okay. And threats. Monsters that are controlled by the shadow that lurk outside of the root towns. Most monsters disappeared when the 6 great spirits and the 2 goddesses were victorious over the shadow, but they began to increase in strength after the humans destroyed the gods. So there's a bunch of different categories. There's ogres, like little goblin rookies. Aww. Goblin rookies are apparently ogres. I don't know. They're goblins that have just been appointed to their duties. They have not received much training and are unable to guard against enemy attacks. With physical abilities much lower than veteran warriors, they are easily defeated. However, they are still warriors and can easily overpower an adventurer by sheer numbers. Gun giants. I don't know if I want to go into this too much. It might be kind of spoilery for the enemies we're going to run into in the world. To hell with that. We're going to keep going. So, gun giants are monsters with large cannons on their arms. Their blindness allows them to have exceptional hearing. They can detect even the faintest sound from their intended target. Despite their large size, they're agile and can jump up and fire over a wide area. Demons! So the angelic Gore, or Gore, a large demon-type monster. Its face has no eyes, ears, or nose, only a gaping mouth. It swings its large arms to attack opponents. It is a lower-class demon monster, but the large ring of light on its back hints that perhaps at one time it used to be a divine creature that for some reason was reborn as a demon. Experts are currently investigating the possibility. It's like a halo. Sea monsters! Spearfish! The spearfish gets its name from the long horn on its forehead and the swimming motion it makes while gliding through the air. Its elastic horn and skin are favored as alchemy materials. Some adventurers even hunt them exclusively for this purpose. Supernaturals? Vac jugglers. They are created when swords that were left behind on battlefields are possessed by the souls of the dead soldiers. Since they were first inanimate objects, some scholars believe they should not technically be classified as monsters. It is believed that the dead souls do not realize that they are dead and will stay on this earth until the swords that they have possessed are broken. It is also said that the Vac juggler will suck the souls of those who have been struck down by its blade. Because of this, even seasoned adventurers hesitate to fight this monster. And avians, Ravenclaw. It is the best of the 4 houses. They are bird monsters with 1 leg and a beak divided into 4 parts. Although they have 3 eyes on their heads, they suffer from poor vision. They normally feed on large monster carcasses, but they may hunt other prey in packs during mating season. Oh wow, there's a lot. Plants, the crumple tree, which is kind of awesome looking. And it's also got a really fun name, the crumple tree. It's a gigantic monster that looks like a tree stump. It has a large face on the side and is said to communicate through facial expressions. Although it has a mouth, it is only used to convey its facial expression. The tree is in fact incapable of speech. Its branches, leaves, and trunks are all used in alchemy, with virtually no wasted parts. It is difficult to tackle this monster as a solo player, and it is advised to attack it with a group. Demon beasts, Vac Fang. Dog-shaped monsters with enormous teeth. They were once stray dogs that were abandoned by their owners and transformed into monsters by the power of the shadow. They harbor deep anger towards the humans who abandoned them. Although they seem to be proficient in physical attacks, they are also versatile in magic attacks, with the power of the charms that surround their manes. Oh yeah, they do have little charms hovering around them. Okay. It was recently discovered by an adventurer that these charms were not created by the Shadow, but instead were purposefully placed on them by some individual. The culprit is still unknown at this time, and both the Ojimos and the Tutates are investigating. Mecha beasts, the steam shell. Steam shells are magical weapons that were left behind after being used in the war between the humans and the beasts. They were transformed into monsters by the Shadow. The monster systematically attacks without any emotion. It is one of the most hated monsters by adventurers. Ojimos have repeatedly requested the Arvakiv to take responsibility for the steam shells, but so far, the Arvakiv have evaded answering them and have only said that they are looking into the situation. Dargans, the fever horse. Fever horse gets its name from its head, which is shaped like a horse. It used to be a small creature that dwelled in the ocean, but after it became infected with the power of the Shadow, it now lives on land. Wow, what corruption. This also resulted in the massive increase in its body size. It is also known as Fire Lancer by some adventurers due to the powerful fire attack it launches with the power of the orb hidden in its chest cavity, as well as the quick piercing attack from its spear-shaped exoskeleton. Huh, that's kind of cool. And crustaceans, the Ruby Cutter. The Ruby Cutter is a giant crab with a human face. I don't really see it, but sure, if you say so. It is said that even cats avoid the corpses of ruby cutters due to their ugly appearance, their foul smell, and rotten taste. Although their shells make for an exceedingly strong alchemy material, they are avoided by most adventurers because of the resulting putrid odor. Hecaton foot. It may look like a rhinoceros, but originally it was actually a turtle that was turned into a monster by the Shadow. Its head is covered by a sturdy shell that has the power to pulverize trees or rocks with a single blow. Normally, Hecaton foots are quite docile, but if they are attacked, they will retaliate and anything around them will be attacked. Their rampages are very violent and too much for warriors with light armor. You know, or clerics. Okay. And then I've already gone through all the jobs and there's nothing on the information board. There's probably going to be more stuff on the official site later, but that's what we got for now. Medic Union from Governor Tadashi. How fare thee, citizens? My name is Governor Tadashi of the Medic Union. I used to be known as the 100-Man Killer, as well as the 100-Man Healer, but it's nothing, pardon me, just my chronic disease. My guild is here to bring love, bravery, and healing to the world, and our battle is never ending. However, the power of evil is great. The voices yearning for healing grow louder every day. You there, you passionate, fiery ones. Don't you want to do everything you can to smash this awful situation? Well, you're in luck, because I'm searching for warriors just like yourselves. If your heart burns as hot as mine, then come and fight by my side, and let us yell together, and let it be known that healing will return to the world. I eagerly await your applications to join. Alright, entry qualifications. As long as you have a fiery passion dancing in your heart, you're qualified to join. Entry procedure. Look at our member list in the next response. Whisper me a color not found on that list, and I'll come meet you myself to give you instructions. I mean, praise you, personally. Finally, I will give you a healing changer and at-home key. Alright. And with that, you'll be a member of the Medic Union too. Duties. Protect the innocent from the attacks of the black-hearted monsters sent from the evil organization Badass. If there are no monsters to be found, heal the people of that area. Say Nyan at the end of all your sentences. Since I govern the guild, I don't have to say Nyan myself. Our character models are all from the Tu tribe. Oh, you're one of those. Okay. So here are their 18 members. Heal Red, who is Private Seisaku. Heal Blue, who is Private Hideo. Heal Black, who is Private BJ. Heal Thunder, who is Private Osamu. Heal Pink, who is Private Lady of the Lamp. And there's a bunch of other people. You can look at all these. That's a lot of colors. Cobalt, sand, carbon, crimson. Alright, so, you know, recruitment. Thread and response. I'm sorry, but this is a question completely unrelated to the world. But what exactly are threads and responses? Oh gosh. I'm a total beginner at computers and I have only had mine for 2 weeks, so if anyone could please explain these to me without too much jargon, I'd be really grateful. I see everyone using terms like creating a new thread or side response, and I don't know what that means from Pesce. Goron's talking about all of that. I am not even going to read that. You can pause the video and read it yourself or something. I don't really care. Teaching you how to use basic internet stuff. I feel like everyone should just know that. Elementals from FZ. Hello there, I just started playing recently. That said, I have a question right off the bat. Normal RPGs always have elements like fire and water, right? Alright. Sure. So, fire, water, wind, earth, light, and dark. The current version of the world does not have light and dark implemented, so it's just the other four for now. Fire, water, wind, and earth. Interesting. Oh, and I guess physical, magical, and neutral and stuff. Fire and water oppose each other, wind and earth oppose each other, light and dark oppose each other. Fire monsters are weak to water, water monsters are weak to fire. Physical is just like your melee attacks, you know, okay. So, just basics of this stuff. Monster that runs away! Okay, you've all seen an animal, question mark, that runs away from you at amazing speed in fields and dungeons, right? What is that? Probably either a Chim Chim or a lucky animal. Alright, well, we don't really need to talk about those because they're going to be covered in the game itself. Here we go. Lucky animals' appearances dictate what they do. So the moon rabbit will give experience to the whole party. Ganesha the elephant will raise your max HP and SP to 1.5 times their normal for a limited period of time. Baku the anteater will give you a bunch of consumables. Nue, the monkey with a snake for a tail, will summon King Chim Chim. There are a lot of other effects aside from these, so try searching from them in different areas and giving them a kick. Big Chim Chim. The other day I broke a barrel in a dungeon and a strange Chim Chim came out of it. Then the Chim Chim attacked me. I was surprised and it ran away. What was that? If it came out of a barrel, it was probably a King Chim Chim. So you attack them and they will keep attacking. If you defeat him, you get a bunch of stuff. Alright. I'm glossing over it because the King Chim Chim is in a quest in a video that's coming up here. Ooh, here we go. June Pride says, the dark guy PK'd me. While we were walking along an area, we were PK'd by a guy dressed all in black. At first, we thought it was just someone being annoyed, and we changed our area. But then he followed us to the new location. I guess it was one of those new stalker PKers. At any rate, he kept following us everywhere. When I asked him why he PK'd, he wouldn't even answer me. Man, that guy was creepy. We tried to fight back once, but we were no match for him, and our whole group was wiped out. It was heartbreaking. Beatrice says, oh, that must have been rough for you. I've been PK'd before too, so I know what it's like. It really sucks. I won't say all PKing is bad, but pointless stalker PKing shouldn't be allowed. It's against the law to stalk people in real life, so why should it be any different online? I'm hoping that the law changes to prevent such cases. Please, don't let it get you down, June Pride. Don't let the PKers win. by giving up on the world. Stella says, "What the hell is up with that? That guy just followed you all around without saying a word? What a jerk! I wonder what's going on with the world lately, with all these bugs and stalker PKers. It's getting to be too much. And for that matter, don't go crying just because you got hurt. What kind of guy was it? If you want, I'll track him down myself and set him straight." June Pride's response. "Beatrice, Stella, thank you both. I'll do my best. You're right. I won't back down from a stalker." "What kind of guy was it?" "I think he was a partisan, with the same design as me. His entire body was giving off a black effect of some sort. So I think he must have had some kind of rare item or ability. His name was... I don't remember. I forgot what it was. If you want, I'll track him down myself and set him straight." Don't be ridiculous. He was really, really strong. Renji comes in and says, "Wow, that must have been rough. By any chance, was that PKer named Doppelganger?" June Pride says, "Oh, you're right. That was it. But how did you know? Is he a famous PKer or something?" And Renji says, It's a monster. It's not a person. It's just a monster." June Pride, "Wait, what do you mean?" Applestar. "Hey, Applestar, welcome back. Good to see you again. Haven't seen you on the forums in a little bit, because I haven't been reading the forums in a little bit. Man, you get around. You're all over the place." So Applestar coming in to say, "Well, there's a monster like that out there. It's a monster that takes on the exact appearance of a player, and normally doesn't do much but wander around. But when it spots a player, it'll attack without notice. It's set to have a much higher level than the player it's attacking, so theoretically, no one could ever beat one. Even though, I guess there is an HP cap in the game. The reason you felt like it was following you everywhere is because they're in every field, but for some reason they never really show up in dungeons. I wonder why. If you ever see one, well, the best thing to do is just run away without being spotted." June Pride, "Oh, no way, so it wasn't a PK, it was just a monster, huh? Oh, I feel so embarrassed. I'm so sorry for the misunderstanding, everyone." Renji says, "Oh, there's no need for that. Everyone has things they don't know. Oh yeah, and if you do ever end up fighting a doppelganger again, you could just use a smokescreen and run away from it. That way, you should be able to avoid having your whole party wiped out. Good luck with your adventures." Interesting. That's a cool thing. Oh gosh. Alright. Playing in a group. Black Cat in Heart. "Hi there, I'm Black Cat in Heart. This is my first post, so I'm kind of nervous. I have a question of sorts. The other day, I ended up becoming the leader for a group. It was my first time, so I didn't quite know what to do, and I'm afraid I made things unpleasant for the other party members. Actually, I mean, they told me to my face how much I sucked. What are some things I could do to better lead a party? I eagerly await your instructions." Okay, we don't need the basics of how to build a party and what sort of things to do. We'll skip around and look at a couple of things here. Double check your expendable items. Make sure you have HP and SP recovery items and resurrections and stuff like that. Give clear orders that fit the immediate battle situation. Make sure you pull off Rengekis whenever you can. Understand when to use Awakening. There are times when you need to have a prearranged plan, and times when your prearranged plan will have no effect. So be ready to just deal with things. If not much damage is being dealt to an enemy, have everybody attack it all at once, or maybe save your SP to turn it into an endurance fight. If your recovery can't keep up with the damage, run away, or things like that. Make sure to pull off Rengekis every chance to ensure you can use Rengekis when necessary. Don't go crazy with your skills. If you use skills too much, there'll be times when... if you use the skill trigger too much, there'll be times when you have a chance for a chain attack, but you can't use the skill trigger. So, yeah, just if it's on cooldown, you can't use it for a Rengeki. So, yeah. Okay, just basics of the game. Soloing from Tricycle Cop, which is an awesome name. Again, just common sense stuff. Well, make sure you always have healing items. Make sure that you use your ability as well. Ooh, here we go. Areas. This is cool. So, level 10 and a level 13 area. Truthful Marbles Bum and Upfront Blazing Camellia. With that level, you should have a good selection with the following words. Sacred Warm and Croaking for the first word. Corins or Black for the second word. And for the third part, Purebred, Ocean, Blue Cloud, or Cassiopeia. All right. Do we learn those? Yeah. Cool. So all those things have been added now. We know those words. See? Skimming through the forums is important. Monster Field of Vision. How do I sneak up and ambush the monster? Blind spot is usually behind their backs. If you can just approach them from behind, it won't matter if you're walking or running, they won't spot you. Oh, they turn their heads. How do I do that? Watch the enemy. Applestar summed up the theory quite well, but if you're not naturally good at actions or games, it can be hard to know what to do. So yeah, watch for them to like turn their head and stuff. Yeah. Blah 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 blah. Ah, here we go. Different beasts will have different types of vision. So birds have like very wide vision, and beasts will have very narrow vision. Things like that. Okay, doesn't really matter. We'll just kind of play it by ear as we go. Yep, and they rattled off a bunch of monsters that are good for noobs to fight, and it was pretty much all the monsters that we saw in the World official website. Can't go to an area now. This is a bit more interesting. I've tried to go into areas lots of times, but I keep getting the same pitifully weak enemies. I'm a level 3 Blade Brandier. Please help. I don't know how to get to the areas I want to. Applestar, do you mean you don't know how to use Chaos Gates? Do you not understand the parameters? No, I don't. Okay. Area level, treasure level, we understand those things. Yep. When playing by yourself, you probably want to go to areas that are a bit below your own level. Playing as a group, you could probably go to areas that are a little bit higher than your current group level. Treasure level is the quality of items that you're going to find. The bigger the parameter, the better the items are going to be. So, kind of important. Yep. Fiddling around with the Chaos Gate. I know. It's the same as all the other things. Same as it was in the first 4 games. Oh no, the map has been gone. Did you hit the button? Controls and stuff. Alright, boy, all of the over-tutorializing stuff is finally done. I don't know. The official forum wasn't super duper helpful. There's some interesting stuff in there about the doppelganger, and we learned some new words for using the Chaos Gate. Either way, thank you all for joining me, and may the grace of the Twilight Dragon be with you.